Shalom. I'm going to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kokodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, nation Hebrew. Yahweh Shai is the true name of His only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. The true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible are the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners that may look like the other nations but believe there's truth. This is a brother Shakal here with a video lesson on how Trump, who is Nero, which was a Caesar of ancient Rome. Trump is Nero in reincarnation, but specifically this is a lesson on how Trump is a sick puppy. He just like Nero was. And the same behavior repeats itself. Because Trump is Nero in the reincarnation. And this is what these Edomites do. The Edomites, Esau, the so-called white man, ruled ancient Rome. They're the dragon, the beast, the devil. In the book of Revelations, the old serpent. Could they go back to the old serpent? That's the Edomites. Also Cain came back as Cain and came back as Esau. Because the serpent was a man, talking about the Edomites, to make it make sense. Cain, the sons of the wicked, to the Edomites, they're the sons of the wicked. Esau was always that wicked, and they are the third part of men. They are the sons of the wicked. So it went from the serpent to Cain to Esau. And we're gonna go into a little bit of history, not anything much at all, on Nero and how Trump had the same wicked, godless, and sexually immoral actions in a spirit as Nero. And so first let's look at a picture of Nero, and you can already see that looks exactly like Donald Trump. It's to a T. That shows you right there that is Nero. That is Trump. Trump is Nero. We're in the revised Roman Empire. America is Rome all over again, or completely the beast system that with the 7 heads and 10 horns is the NATO and the EU. The NATO is the 7 heads, the 10 horns is the EU. And America is a part of NATO. It's the woman that sits on the beast. Babylon the Great, America. This is the revised Roman. Look at that ugly motherfucker. Pardon my French. Excuse me, Slovakia. But that is Trump. That is Trump with a neck beard. Now, what did Nero do? When Roman Emperor Nero's wife died, he found spores. A boy who resembled her had his testicles removed and had him appear in public as his wife. So Nero was on some pedophilia shit. And that is not uncommon, as the Edomites, you read about that history of the ancient Greeks and the Romans. They all did that. That was not that was something that took place. That's what these heathen do. That is completely disgusting. Now we'll go to the writing. It's like I don't know why that happened. Sporus died 69 AD, was a young slave boy whom the Roman Emperor Nero had castrated and married during his tour of Greece in 66 to 67 AD allegedly in order for him to play the role of his wife, Poppaea Sabina, who had died under uncertain circumstances the previous year. So like I keep going in that. Who had died under the uncertain circumstances in the previous year, possibly during childbirth or after being assaulted by Nero. And what is he known for? That the slave child being castrated, married to the Emperor Nero. And we're going to read on. Ancient historians generally portray the relationship between Nero and spores as an abomination, which it is. According to the Bible, it says, man shall not live with the man, he shall surely be put to death, and it's an abomination. Suetonius places his accounts, and we'll get that. Suetonius places his accounts of the Nero-Sporus relationship in his scandalous accounts of Nero's sexual aberrations between his raping a Vestal Virgin and committing incest with his mother. And so this is what Nero did. Nero was a sick puppy, and Trump is also a sick puppy, which we're going to get into. Some think Nero, proven that it's reincarnation. Something Nero used his marriage to Sporus to assuage the guilt he felt for allegedly kicking his pregnant wife, Poppaea, to death. Alright, this is crazy. This is Edomite stuff, this is Edomite activities. Dio Cassius, in a more detailed account, wrote that Sporus bore an uncanny resemblance to Poppaea, and that Nero called Sporus by her name. And so this is absolutely crazy Edomite stuff going on. This is ancient Rome. Nero was Emperor Caesar of ancient Rome. And this is what they were doing. And Trump is doing the same thing. It's behind the scenes now. But with the whole Epstein thing, it's being exposed. And we're going to get into that briefly. But nothing too deep in the history point. Just showing you what Nero did. And it's going to link it to Trump. Now first let's get a scripture. We'll read in a few different translations. This is Hebrews chapter 12 verse 16. We'll start in the KJV and then we'll read some different ones. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So Esau is wicked. This is how he was made to be. He was made to be wicked and godless. And he sold everlasting rulership, his blessing, his birthright. Or just like he sold his birthright, Salakia, for a morsel of meat, which led to Jacob supplanting the blessing. Which was rightfully so set up by Yahweh from the beginning. But this is showing you that Esau is wicked. He sold everything for a morsel of meat. He's carnal. He does not believe the Most High. He doesn't care about the Most High. He's made wicked. And his actions would show that because they go against the laws of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yoshab. In all these scriptures. But let's read up the NIV, Hebrews chapter 12 verse 16 in the NIV. See that no one is sexually immoral or is godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance rights as the oldest son. And so, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the red man, is sexually immoral and godless. That perfectly describes him. And Nero he was a powerful Edomite in power. He's a representation of these Edomites. All these Edomites is wicked. When you break it down, you can never trust these devils, even if they're regular Joe Six-Packs at your job or whatever. You always gotta have be circumspect and have your head on a swivel and be looking out and moving wise, staying away from these Edomites, because they have demons in them, and you never know when they're gonna go crazy, and a demon's gonna overtake them. And so, and we trust in Yahweh Bashem try to protect us, but just to say, that these Edomites are not righteous. They're wicked on the inside, and it's gonna really be seen on the times to come. But it's already being seen. The Edomites do heinous things, and that's all they've been doing. And Nero is an excellent example. And they lay with dogs, bestiality, Moism, just raping, robbing, murdering, the incest, killing. This is what the Edomites do. And this is what goes behind the scenes in the upper realm of politics in the Edomite kingdom. Exactly like ancient Rome. Now, we're going to get into how the same sexually immoral behavior is being seen with Trump. That's why he was found on Epstein Island. What goes on Epstein Island? Pedophilia. Because who goes there? The rulers, the higher-ups. Just like Nero was doing that, a ruler of ancient Rome, a higher-up, doing the incest and pedophilia. The higher you go, the more wicked these people are. And that's what you find out. The top music industry, the top everything. Actors, to get a certain role, you gotta lay down for the so-called white man. You gotta sell your soul to the devil, which is making a deal with the so-called white man. You gotta spread them cheeks pretty much, and do wicked left-hand witchcraft shit, because Esau rules in wickedness. He's sexually immoral. He sold his birthright for a morsel of meat. That's why you should not follow any of his ways. Nothing in his kingdom, his science, his philosophies, his doctrines, his schools, it's all wicked. And it stems from the people in power. They're the ones that control it, right? So, of course, it will be made to get you to go off against the laws of Yahweh Bashnu Shah. Just follow the Bible. But to the point, Trump was found on Epstein Island, which is a pedophile joint. It is, believe it or not, but it's crazy. These celebrities go there and they pedophile out, definitely mowing out, and doing all these types of left-hand wicked, heathenistic sexual rituals. So the facts in the timeline of Trump and Epstein's falling out. The times Trump's names appeared in the Epstein files, the DOJ has already released. Here said no evidence, but we know that they're linked up. So of course you're going to see some of that. It says, listen to the Jeffrey Epstein tapes. I was Donald Trump's closest friend. A timeline of what we know about Trump and Epstein. White House pushes back after reports Trump is named the Epstein files. And so that's all you need to know. Well, Epstein Island is being exposed as a pedophilia ring, and all types of sexual abominations. So why was Trump there? Because he's Nero. He's a pedophile, a devil. That, I mean, you can only speculate, but that's what goes on there, and it just makes sense. I mean, clearly it was 100% sexual immorality going on there. I mean, it's no question. And it will not be surprised if the exact same thing happened. And Trump is Nero in the reincarnation. And so when people are reincarnated, they do the same things. So Trump is an example. But nonetheless, the same sexual immorality is playing out from Nero to Trump. Now here's another one. Now there's no literal evidence, but it speaks clearly. It's from Indy 100. All the times Trump was completely inappropriate with his daughter Ivanka. Donald Trump is no stranger to grabbing headlines among other things, but some of the most questionable of these things he said and done in the past are disturbingly about his eldest daughter, Ivanka Trump. From saying he'd have sex with her to touching her inappropriately, the list is exhaustive. It is unclear whether these comments are intended as jokes or he simply doesn't realize the problematic nature of what he's saying. And you know that he's doing these things. Now, you can't just speculate, heavily speculate, but just looking at it through the lens of how these Edomites move, how Nero moved, how these Romans move, and what he's saying, it just makes perfect sense. Either way, here's our attempt at documenting all the super inappropriate things Trump has said or done about or to his daughter. 1. Ivanka sitting on her dad's lap as they both sit on a statue of Paris having sex. I mean, that's just crazy. See if the picture pops up. You get a full screen view. I mean, that's just weird. That's a left-handed wicked sign. Could these devils move in signs and hidden clues, hidden in plain sight, symbolism? That's what they do. And so this is looking like completely sexual immorality, lawlessness, with the true laws of the Bible. Lawlessness in the form of breaking the laws of the scriptures, which is wicked. It results in wickedness, as you can see, in death. That's why the Lord gave us the laws, because it makes us better than these heathen, and it's the ways of life, it's the ways of rulership. We're the ones made to rule the earth by the laws. Tells you that in Micah the 4th chapter and Isaiah the 2nd chapter. We're going to be on top, and the laws are going to be pushed. The new heavens, a new rulership, and a new earth where dwells righteousness, it says in 2 Peter 3, after the nuclear destruction of Esau eating the so-called white man. But reading on the list, second one, and it's a quote, "Don't you think my daughter's hot? She's hot, right?" When Ivanka was just 16 years old, she hosted the Miss Teen USA pageant, and Donald Trump reportedly made the comment in front of the crowd. 3, and this is another quote from Donald Trump about his daughter, "She's got the best body." In 2003, while on a Howard Stern show, Trump said, "You know who's one of the greatest beauties of the world, according to everybody? And I helped create her, Ivanka, my daughter. Ivanka, she's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body." So this is real creepy, weird stuff. This is Nero activities, Edomite activities. 4, every guy in the country wants to go out with my daughter. In 2004, New York Magazine quoted Trump as having said, "Let me tell you one thing. Ivanka is a great, great beauty. Every guy in the country wants to go out with my daughter, but she's got a boyfriend." So this is just weird stuff. Why is he talking about his daughter like this? 5, Trump agreed Ivanka is a piece of ass. He said this in 2004 on the Howard Stern show. Seems to be his favorite place to make awful remarks. 6, she actually always been very voluptuous. Another quote. Yet again on the Howard Stern show, this time in 2006, Trump thought it appropriate to discuss his daughter's body, mentioning how voluptuous she is. Followed by, she's tall, she's almost 6 feet tall, and she's an amazing beauty. And here's one of the kickers. 7, I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. I mean, so this is just crazy. This is Nero. Absolutely no comment on this one. It happened in 2006 on The View. Very gross. 8, I was going to say sex. In 2013, Wendy Williams asked what 2 things Ivanka and Donald had in common when they both appeared on her show. Ivanka responded, real estate and golf, but Trump said, well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that. 9, when he put both hands on her hips. In July 2016, at the Republican National Convention, Ivanka introduced her dad on stage. He proceeded to kiss her on both cheeks, then put his hands on her hips for literally no discernible reason. 10. If I weren't happily married and you know her father, ... In 2015, in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, he said, "Yeah, Ivanka's really something, and what a beauty that one." And so that's what you got. Trump is being sexually lewd about his daughter, and it's very likely, I say extremely likely, that that there's incest going on. Just like Nero, because Trump is Nero in the reincarnation. Trump was incest with his mom. He was getting down with his mom. That's disgusting. And so it makes sense that he's doing it with his daughter. And that's only what you're seeing on the big screen. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. We know how these Edomites move. They're the wickedest of the wicked. This is how these heathen get down. And the Edomites fall after these ancient idols and their left-hand wicked customs, which include sexually immoral acts. You got the Bohemian Grove, where all these elite Edomites go and they do just wicked faggy shit. One of the presidents were there, and he's like, "This is the most faggy shit I've ever seen." Pretty much roughly paraphrasing about the Bohemian Grove. So it's just Edomite, idol-worshipping Edomite devils, Romans, which is Esau. So you see the connections of the Edomites of Nero to Trump, and the sexual immorality that is connected to Esau in the scriptures. And they were doing shit like this all throughout our captivity, just like Nero did with that boy. This is Joel chapter 3 verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and have sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And we were taken over here on slave ships. We were put on auction blocks and sold as slaves. And the main point should have given a boy for a harlot. Like you see the movie, I think it's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. They got the boys dressed up, looking like prostitutes, looking like female, ready. Like a man would choose a young female. They got boys doing that. This is what Esau does, and that's done through our captivity. And and that slave might have actually been a Jake back in Nero's time. I don't know. But it could be, could not be. But nonetheless, this is what Esau does, and he's got to pay. We'll read it again, Joel chapter 3 verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So we were put in slavery. And Esau doing that faggy shit. And he's got to pay. And so this is what was going on in ancient Greece and ancient Rome. 2 Edomite rulerships, and we're in the revised Roman Empire, Greco-Roman Empire. The beast goes back to ancient Rome, to Esau, which were in the revised Roman Empire. The same as the dragon, Revelation 12 and Revelation 13. And it said it would have a deadly wound that would be healed, because Rome would be revived. And so the same wicked activities are going on, but now it's behind the scenes. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And so Rome fell. Jake, starting with Nerva, took over power in Rome. We had the fall of the Western Roman Empire. And then Jake was ruling the Byzantine Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, and Esau was in the caves of Europe in the bottomless pit in Revelation 20 in the lower state. Then that deadly wound was healed in the Renaissance period when Esau, even the so-called white man, started ascending back into power. And Jake, we fell out of power, the so-called Negro rulers of Europe, the Moors, that was Israelites' ruin. Jake. And so this is the same things are happening today as ancient Rome. It's the same system all over again. That's the beast, Rome, and we're in the modern day Rome. And the same as the dragon in Revelation the 12th chapter. Now, to get one more piece of history, then we're going to go into the laws just real quick on the sexually immoral things that Esau doing through Trump and Nero. But this is 2nd Ezra chapter 11 verse 1. Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. Now the 12 feathered wings, this is talking about ancient Rome. The 12 feathered wings, which is the 4th beast in Daniel 7. Just like the beast in Revelation 13, a dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads is Greece, Rome, Germania Major, Germania Minor, the Spanish, the British, and the French. The 10 horns were the vassal states of ancient Rome. Then you got the modern day 10 horns of NATO and the EU. But the 12 feathered wings, this is specifically talking about ancient Rome. This right here. You imagine, go back to ancient Rome in your mind and think about the rulers. There were 12 Roman Caesars. That is the 12 feathered wings. It matches up perfectly because Yahweh Bashmishah sets up the kings of the earth. Just like the 4 beasts in Daniel the 7th chapter and the statue of Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 2. Yahweh Bashmishah sets up who rules, and Jacob is going to rule forever soon. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of their fall. And we're going to rule forever. The 3 heads is the first triumvirate, which was, let me try to remember correctly, Julius, Crassus, and Pompey were the first triumvirate. So the 12 feathered wings, let's look that up. Roman Caesars. They have come to be known as the 12 Caesars. That's the 12 feathered wings. Julius Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero. There's Nero, Trump. They have a striking resemblance, and it's seen like this sexual immorality is being made manifest the same way as well. Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. And so that's the 12 feathered wings. Ancient Rome, the 4th beast in Daniel 7. And the 3 heads of the first triumvirate. The first triumvirate is the 3 heads, was an informal political alliance in ancient Rome formed in 60 BC between 3 powerful figures, Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. So there you go. The 12 feathered wings and the 3 heads. It clearly shows us ancient Rome. And Nero was one of those feathered wings, which is Trump. When the revised Roman Empire, we read the beast was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed. We're in the revised Roman Empire. We're in the beast. It's the revised beast. Rome is all here all over again. And it's the same lawlessness. Now let's go into some of these laws that Nero broke, and that is looking like Trump did the same thing. This is Leviticus chapter 18. Okay, he did not go to that FC9 for nothing, and you've seen all that stuff with his daughter. But this is Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near kin of him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord Yahweh. And so you that's incest pretty much. You can't lay with it's against her laws to lay with people of your near kin. What is going to go into specifically different family members and people related to you. You can't. That's against the laws, and that's what was going on. Just Edomite behavior. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. And that's what Nero did. It said the nakedness of thy mother. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. And so that's wickedness what Nero was doing. It's unholy, it's wicked, it's profane. Like Esau moves. Now here's 9. No, not that one. And in this case, it really looked like Trump was doing that with his daughter. It said the nakedness of thy father, and so Trump would be Ivanka's father, so that would be against the laws. Clearly, it's wickedness, and we're reading it right here. Now, here's verse 22, Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. And so what Nero did with that boy is abomination. And we know that Trump went to Epstein Island, and that's what goes on down there, the pedophilia aspect. This is what Esau been doing throughout our captivity. This is what the heathen do. It is against us as Israelites to do this. Homo is completely wicked, and it is against the Bible. This is what was going on in ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, and Yahweh Basham Shah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for that wickedness. In America, the same things is called spiritual Sodom and Egypt, the same homo wickedness and sexual immorality, and Yahweh Basham Shah said he's going to destroy America, Babylon, like Sodom and Gomorrah, because nuclear missiles are going to completely destroy this place. So the Moism is wicked. It's against the laws, just like laying with your mother, just like sleeping with your father. It's the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but it's under the blanket of sexual immorality against the laws of the Bible. And this is what these Edomites do. This is what Trump's done. And this is what Nero's done. And so Nero, which is Trump, and the reincarnation of the sick puppy, it's just the same Edomite behaviors are continuing on. And so I hope that was edifying. On that, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kokodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father nation Hebrew. Yahweh Shai is the true name of His only God Son. The bonus to the elders and Pastor Millstone of will, and shalom to the Lord's elect.